In this lesson, you will combine 3 blocks into a single dynamic block, which ultimately will allow you to choose which block you want to display from a grip menu. To do this, we will begin working on the constituent blocks, which will ultimately make up the dynamic block. Open the Plumbing 4 project file. I'd like to design a dynamic block which displays 3 different valves. I'd like to include the check valve, the globe valve, and one other valve that we haven't drawn yet. So to do this, let's make a copy of the check valve. I'll just copy it over here to some point in the middle of this blank space. And I'll also copy this globe valve. I'll turn off ortho and copy it down here someplace. Then I'll go ahead and rotate these blocks 90 degrees. Now, I think it would be nice if the check valve wasn't quite so wide. If it matched the width of the globe valve, that would be better. So I'm going to move the check valve from this point to this point so that they line up. And then for clarity, I'm just going to move it up a little bit. And I need to use ortho for that so that it's directly up. Now I'd like to edit this block definition. I'll stretch it over, and I think I'll also change this circle so that it matches this donut on the globe valve. To do that, I can edit this block in place. Select it, right-click, and choose Edit Block in Place. OK. Stretch. Make a crossing window to select these objects. Press Enter. Click at this midpoint and then at this end point. Erase this object. And then let's create another donut. Type DONUT. Enter. The donut has 2 different diameters, an inside and an outer. The donut is composed of 2 diameters, the inside and the outside. In this case, we don't want a hole in the middle, so let's set the inside diameter to 0. The outside diameter should match the size of this donut. So click its 2 opposite endpoints. And then place this new object right here. Enter. Now this came in on the current layer, of course, which is fittings. And because I'm working on a block definition, I should take care to make sure that everything on that definition is on layer 0. So I'll change it. And then go over here and choose Save Changes. OK. That also changed this existing check valve. So I'll just extend this pipe using the grip. I'd like one more valve to be part of this dynamic block ultimately, and it will be based on the globe valve. So I'll make another copy of the globe valve down below, and then explode the copy. I'll set layer 0 as the current layer, and erase this donut from the middle. I'll draw a little line up here to represent this gate. This will be a gate valve. And then I'll go ahead and define it as a block. Create block, call it gate valve. Select a base point right here. Select the objects and click Convert to Block and OK. Now let's set this on the same layer as the others. Fittings. Now it's time to define an overarching block that contains all 3 of these. To do that, I will use the same command, Create Block. And I'll call this Multi-Valve. I'll pick a point right here. Select the objects, 1, 2, 3, and press Enter. Now, I'm going to open this in the block editor by checking this box. And I want the result to convert to a block. OK. Now we're in the dynamic block editor here. We have palettes, which allow us to add functionality to the dynamic block, and we have the ability to add geometric and/or dimensional constraints. For this block, I have visibility states in mind, so we'll be using this palette ultimately. Now let's go ahead and select these objects, and because they're part of a new block, they should also be on layer 0. So let's go to the Home tab and open the Layer drop-down, select 0, and then go back to the Block Editor tab. Click Close Block Editor and save the changes to the multi-valve. Save your work as Plumbing 5. In this lesson, you learned how to use the block editor to work inside a block definition. You combined 3 blocks into one in preparation for adding dynamic block functionality.